Hello and welcome to our informational webinar on the MovingWorlds Institute. My name is Mark Warshawski. I'm the co-founder and CEO of MovingWorlds.org. I'm joined by Cole Hoover, who's based here in Seattle, Anna Phillips, based in London, and Millie currently joining us from Medellin, Colombia, in our South American office. So we are, as a team, very excited to be giving you an update on what's new with the MovingWorlds Institute, as well as share information about our application period that's currently open for our next call for global fellows. The MovingWorlds Institute is really one of our most treasured programs here at MovingWorlds. It's a program that brings in skilled and experienced professionals that are really looking to explore the idea of finding purpose in their professional work and doing that in a way that contributes that to the greater good. And so as we start off this informational, in the same way that we start off any of our Institute sessions, we like to start with just a moment of reflection, an act, a prompt to consider as we embark on our own journeys and quests to make a positive impact, to also explore maybe internally, what does it take for us as leaders in order to create that change? And so as we start this webinar, I'll ask you to consider that as you embark on your own quests and your own steps to find more purpose in your professional path, and ways to do that in a way that contributes to your local and global society. What internally are you looking to build up, to strengthen? And how can self-exploration, how can community, and how can stretch experiences help you get there? Because I think that's really the essence of what we try and support here at MovingWorlds. And as we show you a progression of the MovingWorlds story with a series of news clipping articles that I think tell the story better than we can tell ourselves. You know, when we started, it was a platform to help people find the best place around the world to volunteer their professional skills. And we quickly learned that as people were exploring to create change, they were also trying to develop their own professional skills in the process. So we built up our team, we built up our board, we built up our advisory team to help us structure really powerful personal and leadership development tools to accompany people on their own expertise projects. That work's been featured in Stanford Social Innovation Review, HBR, DevX, many more. And it caught the wind of some of our corporate partners, from Microsoft to Booking to Siemens to the Caring Group, who are sponsoring their employees through experiences for the sake of helping them grow. And as we got to work with these global brands and creating world-class education and leadership development programs, the essence of the MovingWorlds platform has always been increased accessibility. And so we've really set out to take the best of what we've developed with really incredible partners around the world to make that available to everybody, regardless of where they might be currently employed. And that's what the MovingWorlds Institute does, is it takes, you know, the best of our global partnerships, the best of our content, the best of our learning, the best of our program management to really help you not only find a personally or a personal experience where you can go expertising, but to wrap that with learning and leadership content. And of course, to do that alongside a group of high achieving, skilled professionals that, like you, are looking to answer that question of, you know, what is my purpose and how can my professional career help make an impact with that? So with that, Cole, I'll hand it over to you, who's going to guide us through the rest of the presentation to answer more of these questions about how exactly the MovingWorlds Institute works.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Mark. So just building off that, you know, this is a global fellowship that has been evolving for years and is this program that helps people who are trying to have a greater impact with their careers to find a community of accountability and best practices and connections to industry leaders who can help you unlock that potential. So this is a cohort-based experiential program that weaves together education on concepts like human-centered design, social entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, with experiences in the field that helps you to take these concepts and actually put them into practice and gain that learning and understanding and skill building that would aid you in making a transition into the next impact career of your dreams. We also bring in that element that Mark had really started us off with. We believe that any kind of change that you're going to be having externally also starts at a place of having, internal awareness increase and reflections on the work that we're doing in the world, how we can do it in a more thoughtful, caring, and compassionate way. So that's really the basis of what the MovingWorlds Institute is as a 6-month fellowship. And I'll go a little bit more into some of the other details around the program. So as a whole objective, we are here to build a global network with you while helping you to develop skills in human-centered design, shared value creation, getting businesses to weave social impact into their models, cross-cultural leadership, connecting across countries and across societies, and then using all of these skills and principles to ultimately align your professional aspirations with a fulfilling world-positive career. We get people from all different sectors, backgrounds, and kind of different perspectives that come to the MovingWorlds Institute with this goal and with this objective. And this is what we build together, and this is what we create together in community. And so to follow on from this objective, as a MovingWorlds Institute Fellow, some of the things that you'll be doing during your 6-month time with us, you'll be developing a clear understanding of the 4 impact industries. So this is social entrepreneurship, not-for-profits, philanthropic foundations, programs doing corporate social responsibility. We dive into all of these ideas and also learn a little bit about what are the connections between them and what are the global forces shaping them. We also build with you a global network that helps you to keep learning and connect to future opportunities. Many of our fellows are deeply skilled, high-achieving professionals who are looking for that kind of bridge into the social impact movement and social impact sphere, and that's what we help to make happen. We also help people to identify what your strengths are and specifically how they translate into a social impact experience. Many people come to us with a request around finding how they can actually translate what they've been doing for years into something that has more meaning for them. To do this, we will also help you to tell the story of how you can demonstrate your ability to have a positive social impact through field placements of social enterprises, through working on case studies that highlight concepts like human-centered design and shared value, which will ultimately, hopefully, increase your confidence to proceed forward towards a career that really aligns with your own personal values. Throughout this time, we support you by applying a proven methodology with different tools and time-saving methods that will help you to build all of this into a capstone that you will have moving forward and ultimately have the skills that you need to become a more effective global leader and impact employee. So all of this happens through a variety of stages in our timeline that I'll dig into a little bit more. But ultimately, what this looks like is a 3-day intensive immersive program where we get all of the fellows together, and then 6 months of cohort building online in webinars and through field experiences. So just to make it a little bit more human, I wanted to highlight some of our amazing past fellows. So Fernanda, who you can see in this picture, she is one of our fellows who, in the back center, she is originally from Brazil and had worked in the not-for-profit sector, but was looking to transfer her skills more into social enterprises. And we were able to, through her placement in the field, help her to continue to gain experiences with amazing organizations that were trying to have an impact and also to try to create a sustainable business model around it. And what she found really ultimately about sharing her skills was that when you do what you love and what you're really good at, which is that marriage of the two things, your skills and your purpose, it doesn't feel like work. She was continuously finding new ways to get excited about her work and no longer experiencing that same kind of burnout that she was struggling with before. So now Fernanda has built off of her field experience and has been getting amazing job offers, getting connected to new social enterprises that she can use her skills in the MovingWorlds Institute to capitalize on. Another story we have is from Heather. So Heather was a fellow who was a digital marketing professional in Silicon Valley, who was for years trying to figure out what was next, what was that more meaningful opportunity. She got stuck in that place as so many of us got, which was at this really interesting point of reflection and inflection. What do you actually do? Do you quit your job? Do you jump into a nonprofit? Do you go back to school? And finally, through this place of questioning, which for her admittedly lasted for years, she kept just going back to what the hell is my next step? And that's when she stumbled upon MovingWorlds. And the way that she describes it is that she stumbled on it and found a new kind of fellowship, one where you'd be put into a cohort of people in the exact same scenario she was in and pushed with no toe dipping into the deep end of the pool of the social impact industry. We find that people like Heather, who maybe are on the fence, looking for that next thing to nudge them into what's going to happen in their career after, really just need that push. And we help people to move from a place of fear and move more into a place of doing and taking action. And this is one of the core pieces of the MovingWorlds Institute Fellowship. So for program timeline, this is the timeline of our current cohort who is working right now. But it all starts out with the idea of cohort collaborations. This is happening throughout the 6-month experience, weekly on Slack. We use Slack as our online community. This is a place to share articles, resources, ask questions, and work with each other to offer support professionally, personally, and in our field placements. The second element is through a speaker series. We connect all of our fellows to industry leaders who highlight the different themes that we work on throughout the MovingWorlds Institute Fellowship. These are amazing folks who you'll hear a little bit more about from Anna in a moment, who are leaders out in the field sharing their best practices and insights from years of working in social enterprise. Next, we have individualized mentorship support. So whereas the industry leaders work with and address the group as a whole, each fellow actually gets paired one-on-one with a mentor who helps them to, on their schedule, using guides and tools that we provide to reach personal and professional goals that are germane to that specific fellow. You then do a expertarian project. So really one of the most core parts of the whole MovingWorlds experience and what we really believe makes education possible is experience. So getting there out in the field, using our planning guides and working with amazing team members like Millie, who will talk a little bit more about expertarian, to make sure that your placement with a social enterprise in the field is a perfect articulation of how your skills can make an impact in the world. We also tap into themes every month. So we read books, we read articles, and we as a community try to connect to industry themes and insights that will help you to build up a shared language around social entrepreneurship, enterprise, and impact organizations and industries in the world. All of this, we hope, culminates in what we talk about as your capstone, your portfolio. So at the end of your 6-month experience, you've gone through these different tools, setting goals with your mentor, building your network, creating a capstone based off of what you've done and experienced during your expertarian project that you can use as an artifact of this entire experience moving forward to get that next job, advance within your company, or just learn a new skill that you think can make you more impactful. And finally, we do all of this by supporting each other. We not only connect you to a group of fellows, but specifically to a smaller subsection of your fellowship, your accountability group that provides weekly touch base and biweekly share outs to the rest of the group to hold you on task and also to push you to do more and better and have the best fellowship experience possible. So I talked about this a little bit, but we support you throughout the experience with different learning guides that help you to understand your personal, professional, and project-based goals. We bring together leadership guidebooks and resources from all around the world to help strengthen your experience. We guide you through the process of not only picking the right expertise field-based experience, but also reflecting on it and telling that story. And we also pair you with a mentor and guides and tools that help you to maximize this time with this amazing human being who is supporting you throughout the fellowship. And then finally, like I said, we wrap it all, bring it together for your capstone presentation, which is your story that you can tell moving forward. So before getting into these learning guides, we also set the foundation. We use a couple different assessments and tools that we help to learn about you and to try to understand who you are and how we can design the experience to best meet your needs. So we use amazing assessments like the Purpose Index, the Purpose Assessment from Imperative, which is the largest ever study and assessment on how people find purpose in their work, and also things like the Globe Smart profile. So Globe Smart is an index and a survey that helps you to understand kind of how you express yourself and how that connects or maybe is different or similar to other cultures that you'll be working to help make you a more effective and successful cross-cultural leader. We do this again through community. Slack is our online community. As you can see here, we spend a lot of our time having great conversations, whether it's thought-provoking conversations on social enterprise articles or holding each other accountable around different ideas or different commitments and goals that we've set with each other. This is our place that we build community and really maximize the experience of the fellowship. And we do that again through a structure of accountability. Each fellow is given a checklist and a guide which walks them through the whole experience and helps you to do it on your own time, and also serves as a reference point for building on this experience with those who are going through it with you. So to talk a little bit more about the larger community outside of the fellowship, the people who are these amazing industry leaders around the world who support the experience, I wanted to introduce my colleague Anna, who's our Director of Strategic Partnerships, calling in from London to talk a little bit more about our network that really strengthens the experience.
Thanks, Cole. So social impact, by definition, is achieved through and with other people. And Cole explained really clearly why we place such a big value on our cohort model. And beyond the immediate cohort of teammates who are going through the Institute with you, we help you build a network. The MovingWorlds Institute will expose you to a range of senior leaders and inspiring change makers from social enterprises, from legal global corporations, from nonprofits, from think tanks, impact investment funds, and other umbrella bodies, as well as kind of thought leaders, authors, and people who've brought radical new ideas to the sector. So as well as live webinars from these speakers, as a fellow, you'll have access to our database of mentors. And we have a mentorship guide that will help you to identify the best person who can coach you through your transformation journey. And they support you with a monthly check-in, offering advice, connections, and guidance. So this page on the MovingWorlds Institute page contains the full database of all of our mentors and speakers. So please do explore. But a couple of examples I might pull out. So in the top row there, we have Aaron Hurst, who's the founder and CEO of Imperative and author of The Purpose Economy. On the middle row, we have Youll Do, who's the Chief Marketing Officer of Digital Marketing at Microsoft. And then in the bottom row there, you can see we have Annika Berman, Senior Program Officer at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So a wide range of people from different geographies, different sectors, and they're a great resource for you as you move through the program.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Anna, for highlighting all these exciting people in our network. Next, I would love to dial in on another deeply important part of the of the MovingWorlds Fellowship, which is the experteering placement. And to do that, we have Millie, who is the head of our Impact Teams program and also leads so many of our efforts connecting amazing people with skills with social enterprises in the field with opportunities. So with that, Millie, if you could dig in a little bit and share more about experteering placements.
Thank you, Cole. So before I dive a little bit too deeply into this, let me just answer a very common question that we have during the application cycle when it comes to the expertise placement. The question is, do I need to have a project set up or determined before I apply? And to answer that question, no. You do not need to have a project in mind when applying for the MovingWorlds Institute Fellowship. Once you're accepted into the fellowship, our matching team will work with you to identify a project. And so with that said, the matching process and expertise experience are both exciting and nerve-wracking moments during the fellowship because they're two of the most tangible ways for you to apply everything you've learned during your fellowship. You know, there are opportunities to explore the social impact space and build a network with change makers like yourself and your peers. It's an opportunity to experiment and discover where and how to best put your skills and interests to use to create impact. While at the same time, you're able to practice applying human-centered design concepts, and learn how to talk about your transition and your overall impact story, like Co mentioned earlier. And so how do we accomplish all of that? Let's take a look at some of the key components of an expertise project: your goals, both personal and professional, the Institute curriculum, and your personal skills and experience. With the support of our matching team, we'll weave these three elements into an expertise project that produces a sustainable and ethical impact on the communities you serve, all the while supporting the goals you've outlined for yourself during the fellowship with your cohort, with your accountability groups, and your mentors. And so next, I'm going to review some past expertise projects to give you an idea of what types of experiences you can expect. Here we have Ankita, who is a women's rights advocate, and she works tirelessly to protect immigrant rights in Washington state. Her goal was to see how to use her skills, education, and experience to address global development and global health issues in the Global South. And so she got to do this during her expertise project with a grant-making organization in Zambia. And along the way, she used her legal and partnership building background to help them diversify their funding model, as well as to reduce reliance on donor aid by helping them to transition and create a sustainable social enterprise. And along the way, she got to work with their CEO to develop a strategy to engage with the private sector in their community. Next here, we have Lynn. And when Lynn joined us, she was working to start up her consultant business. So she shared with us that her goal after 14 years of working within the sharing economy and the tourism space, she wanted to bring back her international development background to her current work. And so she got to marry her disparate experiences through an expertise project with a social enterprise in Cambodia, who's trying to bring higher education opportunities to Cambodian youth. She helped them map out a business strategy for growth in 2018 and transferred her knowledge of human-centered design to the local team to enhance their overall product production experience, as well as their communications with stakeholders. And finally, we have here Lisa. Lisa has a very strong background in startups, having worked in multiple startups and founded her own startup as well. So she shared with us that she really wanted to work on an expertise project that would help her to find and activate the same level of drive and motivation towards her work that used to come so easily. And so drawing on her entrepreneurial background, we connected her to an expertise experience in Rwanda with a business development accelerator. There, she mentored local entrepreneurs and workshop with them to develop their value proposition, their business strategy, as well as their pitch decks. Working along entrepreneurs in Rwanda who brought forth creative solutions to their unique challenges gave Lisa the new perspective she was looking for, and she was able to incorporate that as she continued to grow her business. These are just some of the projects that past expertise have done. You're welcome to check out our blog as well as our social media to see what else expertise have worked on in the past and what our general expertise process has been. With that, I'm going to pass the mic back over to Anna to go over some key dates and numbers to keep in mind as you consider applying.
Thanks, Millie. So some of the number crunching we did. First of all, a few figures on who are our fellows. Where are people coming from? So before I, at a high level, I would say that the biggest takeaway from digging into these numbers is diversity and professional excellence when I look through these figures. So we see that 64% of people come from the for-profit sector, and then we have another 11% from government, 7% in education, 7% in investing, and 11% from non-profits. So quite a spread of organisations. And in the types of organisations that we see that almost half of them are in large or international organisations, and another third are in medium-sized organisations. And then the level of professional that we see, to over 2/3 are either executive, director, or middle management. So we've got quite a senior group of people coming through the Institute. And whereabouts in the world they're coming from, interestingly, although our 3 cohorts to date have been based out of the US, almost 50% of participants in those cohorts have been from elsewhere in the world. So Europe, Asia, Africa, and Latin America represented. And then our next cohort obviously will be taking place in Europe, in Amsterdam. And so we're sure to see an even more diverse group of participants. And then I guess one of the biggest questions, just one more question is, why do they join? So just digging into the reasons that people come to us, and the numbers demonstrate that what Cole was saying earlier, that almost all people are at a professional decision point or a point of change. So either they're looking to grow in their current career, like a new promotion, or an internal change to doing more social good, and that is about 20% of people are in that category. And then many are looking for a more significant change. So 39% looking for a career change, or 32% looking for a sector change. And then the dates. So our first cohort is underway now. They kicked off last month in San Francisco, and the end date for them is July the 15th. The next cohort will be our first in Europe. This covers Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. And the cohort training will take place in Amsterdam. So applications are underway. The deadline is March the 15th. The in-person training will be at the end of May, and the program will run through until the end of November. The third location we have this year is our training with the cohort based out of Washington, D.C. Applications for that will close on June the 30th. The in-person training will be in early September, and that will run through until mid-February 2019. And then bringing us to East Asia and Oceania, that will take place in 2019. So we'll keep you posted on that. And the final set of numbers is around our pricing. So for an individual to join the MovingWorlds Institute costs $5,750 per person. And currently that works out to roughly €4,700 and £4,150. Obviously changing as time goes on. So what's included in that is the 3-day immersive, and that's all your costs, including meals and lodging, and a full-on schedule of tuition for our 3-day immersive workshop. It includes all our assessment data, such as the purpose assessment and the strengths finder, and access to the online tools which go along with those assessments. You get individual matching support from our team of experts such as Millie on our platform to help you find the right project. You can attend private live webinars with industry leaders, as we saw in the mentors and speakers pages. And then there's ongoing access to our global alumni network after the cohort has finished. What you cover yourself, in addition to that, is the travel to the in-person immersive and to your experteering placement. And what we see in the vast majority of our placements is that the host organization will help to offset local living costs while experteering. There's also the option to join the MovingWorlds Institute as a group. And so in that case, please reach out to Cole or I, and our details are down here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Millie and Anna. Really, really great to hear some of the details and to give people just an idea for how they can get involved. So just to summarize one more time, our Amsterdam cohort applications will close March 15th. So please, if you have any questions, you can go online to our website for mwi.movingworlds.org, and there are places to ask questions, times to schedule something with me to talk one-on-one, or other members of our team if you have any questions. But please get those applications in sooner than later so we can have a time to have a conversation with you about them. So after the applications close, we will be doing rolling acceptances. So if you get your application in very early and we've gotten a chance to review it compared to all the others, you will be accepted on the earlier end, but all fellows will be announced between March 16th and March 31st. As Anna had mentioned, most importantly, our Amsterdam kickoff date for our 3-day intensive will be May 25th through 28th this year, 2018. And then after the kickoff, you will jump into your field placements if you become a fellow. So these happen, again, on your schedule. We try to encourage people to make them at least 2 to 3 weeks long, but we are extremely flexible. All that really needs to happen is for them to occur between June and November. And we will work with you on an individual basis to find what works best. So yeah, those are all of the next steps, and really, really so wonderful to get a chance to speak with so many of you about how the MovingWorlds Institute Fellowship can fit in with your personal and professional goals. And with that, we will be signing off, but please feel free to reach out to any of us. You've got our emails from the presentation and an ability to access us from the website. So we are so looking forward to speaking with you more, and also finding ways to help you to translate your skills into an impact out into the world. So with that, thank you so much, and have a great rest of the day.
Thanks, everyone.